I'm not surprised at all either. But it's not the flex that you think it is. See, liberals aren't wussy. That's why they go to therapy. That's why they look at their baggage. That's why they do the hard work that is necessary so that they don't have to live reactionary lives. MAGAs are pathetic. They're never going to look at their own shit. They're never going to own up to their own responsibility to take care of their broken parts. And they're going to live reactionary lives for the rest of their lives. That's why they can't manage different people. That's why they can't manage big feelings. That's why they can't take responsibility for anything that happens in their lives. Because they have been indulged by the MAGA world that they never have any fault in anything. Oh, no, it's somebody else's fault. There's always somebody else who's making their life worse. It's never that they're too wimpy to take a look at what's happening in their psyches. Yeah, because you know what happens, dude, when you have childhood traumas or even when you just have childhood difficulties, those things get imprinted in you and you have reactions based on those awful experiences. An unexamined life is a reactionary life. And you know what? Frankly, it's pretty much a wimpy life too, because look, we're not here for that long. And if you can't face up to whatever's happening in your brain, well, then you are a victim to whatever's happening in your brain. Your brain doesn't always tell you the truth. In fact, a lot of the time, your thoughts are not facts. You think they are because you think the same thoughts over and over again, and so then they form your beliefs. And you think, well, they must be true because this is all I know how to think. And that's the problem. That's all you know how to think. And without professional help helping you excavate all the crap that's in your brain, all those horrible, unhealthy thoughts that are cycling around because you've never looked at them, you've never examined them, you've never challenged them, you've never asked yourself, are these true? Could I think different thoughts? Could I maybe open my heart a little bit more and accept other people? Could I maybe stop blaming everybody else for my own failings? Yeah, see, that's the problem. None of the MAGAs are willing to do any of that hard work. And you don't have to be in therapy for your whole life for it to benefit you. You could go to group therapy too. That's hugely helpful. Do you know what happens in group therapy? You start acting the way that you did in your family. Yeah, it triggers all those roles and then you start playing out exactly the role that you had in your family, but you're doing it suddenly in a healthy group. And so it really stands out as something that doesn't make sense. Yeah, and that's when you get to look at those behaviors and you get to say, wow, I was really formed in my formative years to act this way, and it doesn't serve me, and it probably doesn't even match up to my natural personality anyway. So let me look at that. Let me do the hard work. Let me face the pain and the difficulty and those uncomfortable feelings so that I can get to the other side, so that I can choose what my reactions are, so I can choose what I'm thinking, so that I can choose how to behave that's more aligned with who I actually am. Yeah. So I wouldn't go around telling people that only liberals are in therapy thinking that that's a flex, because it's really, really not. If MAGAs were brave enough to go to therapy, we wouldn't be having the situation that we're having. We wouldn't be having MAGAs destroy this country. Yeah, that's the problem. So anywho, the more you know, hope you learned something, and I hope you learned enough to go to therapy, or at least to stop dropping stupid comments onto liberal creators' pages. Yeah. Have the day you deserve. All right.